right, Miles, let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons here for a little bit. Look, this Falcons football team had an outstanding offseason. They really killed it in the free agency period. They, of course, had a very nice draft as well. But we've got a report out that kind of supports how good the Falcons have done this offseason and how dangerous and powerful they're going to be come regular season time in 2023.
Yeah, Nick, I think the Falcons fans are going to love this story. I think this team is looking really good. But let's talk about the team. The schedule has released. We know who the Falcons' opponents are going to be this season. And I got to ask the fans in the comments below, who are you the most excited about playing this season? Maybe it's the team. Maybe it's a place that you're going to play. Maybe it's, a prime time event that's going on. Let us know what game you're most excited for this season in the comments below. And make sure to stay tuned to the end of today's video to hear a word from our partner, Neuro. They have a product that gives you a quick and easy burst of energy, keeps you sharp for an important task. We love to take the mints or gum before our shows to keep us on track. So make sure to stay tuned to the end of today's video to hear more about Neuro's products and get your hands on our discount code. But Nick, nonetheless, what is going on down in Atlanta?
Yeah, so the Falcons, like I alluded to in the opening there, had a really nice offseason, but the one move they made that had a little bit of controversy to it, and I think you and I both liked it, but some Falcons fans have expressed some concern, was when they drafted Bijan Robinson in the first round. Because, it's a running back. We don't know what he's going to add to the team. We already have a lot of offensive firepower. But if you look at what Bijan Robinson can bring to the table, he can do so much. He can add an extra element. He's an elite level playmaker. And even though he plays running back, this reminds me a lot of the Jamar Chase addition to the Cincinnati Bengals a couple of years ago, and elevated the Bengals from a team that was not very good to one of the top contenders in the AFC and frankly the NFL. Jamar Chase went on to win Rookie of the Year that year, based on his performance. And now we have the new odds coming out for Offensive Rookie of the Year going into 2023. And if you want to throw up the report here, Miles, or a screenshot of it, I should say, it's very interesting to see that none other than Bijan Robinson is the clear and pretty heavy favorite to an Offensive Rookie of the Year. And that is absolutely mind-boggling when you consider that so many quarterbacks were taken very early in the draft. We all know it's a quarterback-driven league. They're going to try and hand this award to quarterbacks any chance they get. And the fact that Robinson is a favorite to win Rookie of the Year overall, these guys, you have Bryce Young, number 2, Anthony Richardson, 3, CJ Stroud, 4, and then Jackson Smith and Jigba from the Seattle Seahawks rounding out the list here that we have shown. To me, that shows that the smart money, Vegas, the big money, the people that get paid a lot of money to make these moves right, to make sure they get it right or at least get very close, they believe Bijan Robinson will have a massive impact for this Atlanta Falcons team, which means two things. One, either the Falcons are going to be really good and Bijan Robinson's going to be good and he's going to win Rookie of the Year, kind of like Jamar Chase. Or if the Falcons maybe don't do as well as expected, but Bijan Robinson is an absolute animal and an absolute dominating force, which Falcons fans will probably appreciate that just as well. So I think no matter how you look at this, Mice, this is an outstanding report for the Atlanta Falcons. Give me your thoughts on this headline here about Bijan Robinson being ranked so high, number 1 actually, to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Nick, I think there's a couple keys here. One, you look at the odds, and it's unanimous among most of the betting websites, DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM. They all have the same odds for Bijan Robinson, where it differs a little bit further down the list among player to player. But everyone has their eyes set on Bijan Robinson, and the picture's clear. He looks like a stud. He's going to be offensive firepower. Love or hate where you picked him, you got to love the player that you got. And there's one more thing I love, and what supports this heavily, Nick, is look at the Falcons' offensive line. It's so good. You have Caleb McGarry. You have Lindstrom. You got Matthews. You get the new guard and Bergeron. Yeah, I think this offensive line is a massive factor on why people think Bijan Robinson is going to be so good. Because you could pretty much put me behind that line, and I'm guaranteed like 1 yard per carry, I would say. I could fall forward behind the center and get a yard. So a guy like Bijan Robinson is going to do extremely well. I think that is, a big factor here. Then there's some other things going on. Addition of Scotty Miller in the slot is going to, open up things in the pass game. You got Mac Hollins, Drake London, obviously excellent wide receiver. So the passing game opens up. Maybe Desmond Ridder takes that second step, is able to get the passing game going a little bit better to open up the run. I just think there's so many things going in Bijan Robinson's favor on the Falcons, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So I can see why they are picking him thus early. Just before seeing anything on paper, it looks like he's going to have a dominant season, and I'm really excited to see him play for the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave you with this. I want to circle back to the Bengals comparison from a few years ago because people forget it now. But Jamar Chase, when he was selected by Cincinnati, that was a very controversial pick. The Bengals had other needs, very similar to the Atlanta Falcons, but they went with the offensive playmaker. And all the people are like, they should have gone left tackle, they should have gone defensive end or corner or whatever, whatever the so-called experts said at the time. They look pretty silly now because Jamar Chase has evolved into one of the top flight playmakers in the NFL. And the Bengals, because of his addition, have moved to among the NFL's elite. I think we could see a very similar dynamic very soon with Bijan Robinson. He is that talented of a prospect. And I'm telling you, Falcons fans, I know some of you guys are like, I don't really like the running back. Maybe there's some other positions we could have used some help. I understand that thought process, but think about the Bengals and Jamar Chase. Would they have turned down Jamar Chase for another left tackle? Absolutely not. He is, when you have a guy like Chase, like Robinson, when you're that elite level of playmaker, game changer, and you add him to an offense that already has a good offensive line, a lot of other pieces as well, this team is ready to explode and take the next step. I think to me, this is very comparable. The Atlanta Falcons going to 2023 are the Bengals of just a few years ago. They could have that kind of explosion. All right, Miles, we would like to give a special thanks to our partner today's video, Neuro.
That's right, Nick. And I want you to go with me on a journey really fast. I want you to imagine this. It's 4th and goal in the big game, Nick. Your team is relying on you to make the big time game-winning play. I know you've been in this situation before, Nick. The stadium is roaring. The clock is ticking. The game is on the line. But if only in that moment you were able to have some Neuro Gum. Neuro Gum will help you stay concentrated, and it gives you a burst of energy without a nasty crash.
That's right, Miles. Neuro has thoughtfully curated ingredients and does endless lab testing, which means that you can reach the right state of mind safely and consistently. That's the most important part. It gives you a clean burst of energy and focus without the jitters of coffee or any of those other energy drinks.
That's right, Nick. And if you click our sponsor link in the description below, you can enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it.